distributor in Cannes, and you were there, to showcase your film. What was it like, being there, representing Singapore, and being one of the 7 films to be showcased, during the Critics Week?
It was awesome. Josh was there with me, and I think it was the first time actually Asian films for a long time was represented at the Critics Week, and this year 2 films from Asia, two films from Southeast Asia, one from Vietnam and one from Singapore was there, and we felt really well treated. I think the great thing about Critics Week is that there were only 7 films in competition. It's meant for first-time filmmakers, so they gave each film the attention that it needed. Because at a place like Cannes, with so many films in competition and so many masters around, it's very easy to, for a first-time film to be lost among that the whole lineup of films. But I think Sandcastle actually got a reasonable amount of press coverage and industry interest, and the reviews were all quite encouraging, I think. So we were very happy. Any thoughts from you? He enjoyed the weather very much.
Hi, congratulations, Junfeng. It was beautiful and moving film. And to me, it's what a Singapore film should be. I have a follow-up to the Cannes question. When you were there in France, and I'm sure you've met a lot of people who saw your film, I'd like to know if any reaction from people who are not Singaporean, who are not Asian, surprised you, or if you had any insight into that.
It's a very interesting question, because in Cannes, everyone would ask me, how did Singaporeans react? So it's like everyone wants to know how people react. I had and one of the great things about being in Cannes is that, being in Critics Week, is that they don't just show the film in Cannes. They actually allow the film to show in the suburbs and in like the towns outside of Cannes. Cannes Film Festival is like an industry festival, so people who come to the festival are reviewers, buyers, distributors. So to get the locals to see it is quite rare. So for Critics Week, we managed to they actually ferried us to this small town right outside of Cannes. And this old lady just basically came up to me almost in tears and telling me how she really felt for the characters and how she saw elements of her own life in it. And to me that was the most beautiful moment when I was there over the 7 days, because it was the reason why I do this is because it's very much a cultural exchange when I get to travel with the film, and to know that a story that I had written in my bedroom and with a lot of elements that were very personal would resonate with a French old woman in the suburbs. So yeah, to me that was one of the most beautiful.
Thank you. Any other questions or thoughts from the audience? You don't have to be shy. Yeah.
Just want to compliment the actor. I don't know what is the whole show about. I haven't acted the whole show. But I just want to convey that in a way part of my heart. I can't pinpoint exactly which part. But I think it's sort of like, touch something that's quite raw inside. So I want to congratulate the 2 actors and actresses. It was a very, very good performance. But on something that came to me was that there was an element of selective amnesia. I noticed the characters in the show choose what they want to remember, choose what they want to forget. So I just want to know how much of this. Actually, I was quite surprised that this film actually went past the censorship board. Yes, there was a bit of sensitivity. I would say it's a sensitive to social memory. He was dealing with some sensitive topics, so
So this film was funded by the Singapore Film Commission, and I suppose when I first submitted my pitch, which they approved, it was a family drama about dementia. But along the way, I picked up on some of the other themes, and we did submit the draft. I did submit the final draft to them before we shot the film, and the main comment was, "I don't want so much sex. Can we not have so much nudity and sex? Because let's say if there is, because with a higher rating, you know, make money, you know." And I was like, because back then, the strategy from the start really for this film is that I knew it was probably not going to score huge box office returns locally, but it's such that it can travel, and which is why Fortissimo Films was on board. And that was the strategy. So and then to me was always don't make it too tame, not too tame. There needs to be something in there that a foreign audience is able to appreciate. So I guess they were maybe distracted by the sex to comment much about the politics behind it. I mean, I really don't see it as being political. I think it's simply, it's the story of a family, and it's not angry, it's not a polemic. It's just, I guess it just addresses a taboo, part of the contract was for us to submit the film before we send it to anyone else, but the film got into Cannes before they saw it, so we showed it to them. We sent the DVD to them like a few days before we flew off, and then so the whole delegation from MTA saw it in Cannes, like a whole row of them. So the chairman came up to me at an after party, just to say, "Good job, well done." so at that point I was supposed to feel, I think they will pass the census. Well, I mean, I wasn't really. Well, I wasn't out to court controversy or, in fact, I think, yeah, I mean, but really for something like that, and for some of my short films, if I was really out to do like something sensational, it could have been very easily done, but I think what I appreciate, is that it is a human story, and therefore there had to be restraint, and I was really more interested in the human drama behind it than the issue itself. But the issue definitely allowed for an interesting, examination of this human condition.
Thank you. Any other?
Something that amused me during the film was that even though M is supposed to be a very average Singapore guy, his enunciation was perfect. So when he's like giving the telephone number to the Mac repair guy, the TH sound was very